A limiting belief is any belief that stops you from believing that you can achieve a thing. And most importantly, it is a cluster of thoughts that stops you from acting in a way that would lead to you having the thing that you say that you want to have. That's what a limiting belief is. And we all have limiting beliefs in different areas of our lives. And there's levels to the limiting beliefs that we have as well. Because if you didn't have a limiting belief around a particular subject, then you would already be experiencing the life you want to live in relationship to that particular subject. Identifying those limiting beliefs is something that you have to do if you're ever going to overcome the limiting belief. Because not knowing you have a limiting belief is literally keeping you stuck where you are. It keeps you repeating cycles. It keeps you trapped inside a world of lack and limitation. And the saddest part is it's a world that you created, and it is also a world that is easily solvable if you are willing to acknowledge that you have the limiting belief. I think limiting beliefs can be easily spotted when we ask ourselves, what do we mean by being realistic? It's so convenient for people to say, let's just be realistic. As if we're not floating on a ball in the middle of space, as if there's not a ball of fire in the sky that we call a sun, as if we manifested on this planet and none of us really know exactly how or why we're even here. But sure, let's be realistic. Realistic is us pointing out our limiting beliefs. And I am consciously in a state of pushing myself beyond what I believe to be realistic. And at this point, I'm asking myself, is there even such a thing as being realistic? Or is it just a limiting belief? Because the thing we consider to be realistic today is what someone in a future generation will consider to be not only very realistic, but obvious. Before the telephone was invented, somebody could have said, be realistic to the individual that thought about talking to somebody on the other side of the world or in another home that wasn't in that physical location. That person easily, Alexander Graham Bell, easily could have been told to be realistic. Before airplanes were invented, automobiles were invented, before the internet was invented, all of those people that existed before those things were invented thought it was realistic to think nothing like that was ever possible. And I think it's very telling why only a small percent of people in relationship to all the people on the planet ever become what we deem as successful. Because perhaps it is those individuals that are willing to stretch their mind around the concept of being realistic. I saw a quote on, I think it was Instagram a few days ago. Some of these giant companies like Apple are making, I think it takes 22 Every 22 hours, Apple makes billions of dollars or something of that nature. If you would have told Steve Jobs to be realistic back in the day, he never creates Apple. You know, so like our definition of realistic is crystal clear evidence of our limiting belief in relationship to any subject. So what do you call realistic? What is realistic to you? Because the more I learn, the more the walls that I used to build my realistic world around starts to deteriorate. And what is revealed to me is a world full of unlimited possibilities. Master yourself and subscribe to the channel and visit me at mindmastersociety.com.